I am Jesse KAMAU.
The Very Reverend Dr. Jesse KAMAU served as the 9th moderator of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa from the year 1997 to 2003.
I am born of a Christian parents and in a Christian atmosphere, and my parents were in the East African revival, and so I grew there until I had learned the style, their way of talking. But when the year 1960 came, I walked forward and gave my life to the Lord when Dr. Bill Graham was preaching in Nairobi.
You have never really repented of your sins before. You have not received Him. There are many people today that need to come and say yes to Christ.
With these words, the message went out and touched the heart and soul of one, Jesse KAMAU.
And since then, I went on growing and growing. Early, before, after school, I went to be a school teacher, and I taught for 4 years. But even when I taught for 4 years, I had a call into the ministry to be a church minister. That came long ago when I was a child, and so I was preparing for it.
Dr. KAMAU has been a church minister for over 47 years now, a journey that started in the 1960s.
I have always been a Presbyterian, PCA. PCE is Presbyterian Church of East Africa. And I have grown in a community where Presbyterians was the local church. And so they nurtured me. And even when I went to the theological school, in our system, it is the church that takes students. Candidates for the ministry are trained by the church. So they picked me because they thought I was a good young man, and took me to the theological school. And on finishing 1969, there was already a job for me. God works in a very interesting way. He puts you on a preparatory ground that what you are doing will lead you to something that is related, that is connected. And I think work as a school teacher prepares a minister, because it's about passing on knowledge, passing on information to other people in a manner that you will speak articulate well, explaining. So God was preparing me for that, and it was like a stepping stone.
The call of God upon his life was evident at a very tender age when he was growing up.
This call came to me. They tell me even when I was young, I kept on talking about when I grow up, I'll be a minister. And my mother told me that even when I was young, I would pick up a sack, a gunia, and then wear it so that it looks like a priest's robe. So they say the call came early, and then the Lord keeps on driving you. You see, the Lord works with our minds, with our psyches. And so the Lord was preparing me, giving me the desire and making it to be my goal. So I actually went that way. Normally, God organizes that He calls people who may naturally look weak, who may naturally look inadequate, so that He can school them, shape them up for Himself. And therefore, the unpreparedness, even as I do my very best to prepare myself, there are still areas that I could not be able to prepare myself for. And therefore, as I went on, you find God putting me in a situation that I shall desire Him to help me move from stage 1 to stage 2 on the developmental stages of making a minister.
In 1966, he stopped teaching and went to St. Paul's United Theological College, now known as St. Paul's University.
You see, it's like Moses who would leave Egypt to go into the wilderness, and somebody would think it is a waste of a talented man who is the writer of the first 5 books of the Bible. And the man is in the wilderness, in the desert. And the man is looking after sheep. But you don't know that God is also preparing this man, because sometime later in life, he will bring across the pilgrims from Egypt across the wilderness. So God was preparing him so that he would lead his people with Moses, who was already acquainted with the desert life. And therefore, leadership, God would take you in stages so that again you will have been prepared for whatever event that will be coming on your way.
His rise to the top leadership of one of the biggest congregations in Kenya was not all that rosy and glamorous.
After training, I was put in a rural area as a parish minister with about 12 churches, 12 congregations, and I would move around. It took me 3 months to go around that area. This weekend I would be in one area. The following weekend I would be in another one. The other weekend I would be in another one. Until 12 congregations within about 3 months, then you are out and then begin again. And it was exciting. It was tiring, well, a little bit taxing. And I think God gives us some spiritual power, some spiritual energy to be able to carry on, because he would keep on working in me and organizing in such a way that the difficulties a minister experiences, there are many, in fact there are many, and they come in series and they come and go. Each time you have many of them come and go, or some would persist, but they all make you feel you need his continued presence, which actually keeps on. There are those things that would make you fear. There are those things that would make you feel intimidated. And there are those things that would make you feel like you have nothing to offer. So that, and I think it is organized by God so that then one would want to keep on going back to the Lord. Going back to the Lord, so that no minister should feel like he is self-sufficient. If a minister is self-sufficient, he will be a very proud person. Every time you feel, I don't have the strength, I don't know what to do, then you go to God, and before the end of the day or then there is an answer.
This father of 5 led the PCEA for a period of 6 years, focusing mostly on the youth and family ministries.
My first General Assembly was 15th General Assembly. Then I was given some more 6 years, some more 3 years to do 16th General Assembly. This was now after the first General Assembly. Naturally, we are family people, and obviously there are blessings and excitement that come in the family. And it is interesting to have come from a family that loved me, and to have come from a family where my brothers and one sister, they all are actually excited about me. And then when it comes to have my own, it's good to have a wife, and a little later to have kids growing and to see them grow. Well, there are a few difficulties here, but they challenge me to be man enough to be able to carry on the responsibilities. And then you see, because the church is a family of God, again, he's teaching me with my little family here, even as I am prepared for the wider family, the family of God. And it is so interesting that I also got interested with those family matters, that a little later, even when I had opportunity of going to learning in school, when I was at St. Paul's, I did general theological training. And a little later, when I had the chance of going overseas, I did study generally theology and psychology of pastoral counseling. And a little later, I did a dissertation on marriage counseling. Because you see, in a marriage, you have one young man and another young woman. They say they love each other. They talk about love. They enter into it. But a little later, one of them maybe diagresses, doesn't keep within the covenant. And they mistrust each other. Or they don't fulfill the agreements or the covenantal setting of the marriage. And therefore you find the people disagreeing. Maybe because of selfishness, maybe because of not fulfilling the promises, or we have the human nature that is not satisfied even when the other one is trying. I have also been enjoying conducting marriages, and they look wonderful, they look beautiful. Only to hear that before 7, 8, 9 months are over, these people have disagreed. And they express their disagreement through manners of conflict, disagreement, and so on, so on, so on.
Fathers of Faith takes a short break, but when we come back...
As the good shepherd, Jesus Christ follows the flock, or he leads the flock. We too are moving with the flock, guiding them in their way.
The food he likes, I just eats any kind of food.